If you've ever been wondering what your purpose is, or you've been trying to find your purpose, today I'm going to show you how to know your purpose in this video. The one thing that people are seeking is how to find their purpose. Like, what is my purpose? I was watching this movie the other night, and it was called Hook. And this movie is a rendition of Peter Pan. It's a childhood movie. Peter had to remember who he was. That was the point of this movie, because he had left Never Land and he went to the real world and became an adult. But then he had to go back to Never Land because Hook had stole his children. So then when he went back, he did not believe that he was this Peter Pan. And so the whole movie was about him remembering. Well, that is what your life is about. You have come back into this form to remember who you are, excuse me. And this is something that I wrote. I said, it's not something you find or create. It is something you remember. You are your purpose. You have to remember who you are, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips to help you remember who you are, because you've lived so much life, you forgot how to just be you. Okay, so the first tip that I want to share with you is ask people that you trust to tell you 3 things they like and dislike about you. Okay, why is this important? Because one, you don't care about what people think of you, but when it comes to what you think of yourself, you are like this. You have one perspective, and you don't think very highly of yourself because you have been conditioned to not love yourself. Unfortunately, your parents, society, the schools, that have taught you that who you are is not right or not good, so be this way to please me. So because you were growing up trying to please everybody else and not really please yourself, you have become something else that you don't truly recognize. And that is why you walking around in this world confused and lost and not, and not inspired by just your mere life alone, because you got disconnected from yourself, from your own soul. So the reason why I say you want to ask 3 people that you trust what they like about you and what they dislike about you, because get this, your purpose lies in what they don't like about you. And I want to share this book with you. This book right here I'm going to share with you is what helped me understand the best parts of myself, or the parts that everybody didn't like. Okay, so let me show you. So this book right here, you can't really see the name, but it says Debbie Ford. That's the author. But the name of the book is Why Good People Do Bad Things. How to Stop Being Your Own Worst Enemy. I found this book over 10 years ago. And I had just gotten a divorce, and I was just trying to figure out what is my next step. And I went to the library, and this was the book I found. And what this book tells you is that you have gotten out of balance with who you are. Okay? And for example, let me give you an example. Like, say somebody said, what I don't like about you is that you're bossy. Well, the reason why I don't like that about you, because when you were a kid, you probably was telling everybody what to do. You probably spoke up for yourself, and you probably was almost a little bully. So because people don't like that, they were making you feel bad about what? You being a leader. There's nothing wrong with being a boss. Okay, it's nothing wrong with being bossy. But when you are out of balance with yourself, you can hurt people. You can be a bitch. You can be a tyrant. That's on the other end of leadership. So whatever anybody says about you, if they tell you that you talk too much, right then and there, your gift is that you know how to communicate. Or if they tell you that you're too sensitive, right there is your gift, that you are in tune to your emotions and you aren't afraid to express them. So this book right here will really give you guidance on the things that people that they say they don't like about you. This book will help you, okay? The next one is, since we're talking about our childhood, because you really want to get in tune to your inner child, y'all. And you want to know why? Because that is the root of who you are. That is who you really are. And when you look at your children, or if you look at children, they are in the moment. They are expressing themselves unapologetically. They are very genuine. We are the ones that ruin them. The adults are the one that ruins them because we're like, you shouldn't do that. Don't be like that. If you like that, they're not going to like you. So what? Who cares if nobody like you being you? You don't want them to be your friend anyways, okay? So, number 2, when you were a child, what did you do that you enjoyed? Think about when you were a child, because when you are a child, you're not worried about bills. You're not worried about money. You're not worried about anything but having fun. That is what you are only concerned about, having fun and getting what you want and making sure you're protected. But at the same time, you know that you are protected. A child just knows. Like when my child gets up in the morning, he knows he's going to get fed. He knows that we're going to take care of him. He already knows. He's not sitting there wondering, how's my day going to go? And all up in his head. He knows. He has this knowing because he is connected to himself. Yes, Sandy Interspace says she loves to dance. Everybody list when you were a child what you enjoyed to do. Guess what I enjoyed to do when I was a kid? What I enjoyed to do when I was a kid, I like to talk. My nickname was Chatty Cathy. I talked all the time. And I remember when I would be in the kitchen making myself a peanut butter jelly sandwich or, some cracker and cheese or whatever, I used to act like I was on a talk show, on a cooking talk show, talking to people about the food I was making and what I like, and just talking to them like there was a camera right there. I would have never thought years later that this is what I would be doing as a profession. But even if I wasn't getting paid for this, I know it's my purpose to talk. Like, everybody laughing, Chatty Cat. That was my name. I was known for talking all the time, right? But then as I got older, I started getting self-conscious. My self-esteem was low. And so I stopped talking. And I only said what people wanted me to say. I doubted my own truth. I didn't think I had anything to teach anyone. And so as I came into my purpose, I realized I have the truth within me, and I'm a vessel for divine truth, and I have to open myself to speak. And the more that I do that, the more my life has become so amazing. And down to the next one, what would you do for free without money? See, what I'm doing, I don't have to have money to do this. You don't have to pay me. And actually, I'm not getting paid. Like every once in a while, I might get some readings or bookings or I do classes, but my bottom line isn't about money. It is about me expressing myself. And it's not even about me helping you. It's about me helping myself. And the way that I help myself, the way that I heal myself, the way that I remembered who I was, I just started talking. I just started living my life, doing what I want to do, saying what I want to say. And the more that I did that, the more the doors open for opportunities for me. Because you think that your purpose is a career or a job. No. Your purpose has nothing to do with work, because you know, as a divine being, as a beautiful soul, the last thing you want to do is work. That's why we can't stand going to our jobs anyway. That's not your purpose, to work. Your purpose is to be happy, enjoy your life, love. That is what your purpose is. And everything that you do should be an extension of that. Now, when you continue to do that, obviously in the reality that we are in the universe that we are in, we have to make a living. We need money, okay? I'm not going to sit here and be metaphysical Mary and act like, you was infinite and you was God and you can have whatever. No, okay? You are all of that. You are infinite and you are God. But in the reality that has been created for your energy to be in, you have to have money. You have to have money for the exchange, because what? It is energy. You're exchanging energy, and currency is the way that we acquire the things that we acquire. You would love to focus on being in your purpose and then being able to make it a career. That's what I did. I continued to do what I was doing readings, learning astrology, giving people advice from my own wisdom. And now I've become who I've become. I'm a life coach. I'm a teacher. I'm a speaker. And I get paid for that. I love that. Before I left in my life and moved to the tropics, and now I live in Hawaii, a few years ago, I worked in the healthcare industry. I was a medical coder. And I went to college. I got a degree in healthcare management. And after college, I got me a job. And after that, I got me another job, and then I got certified. But I knew I was not happy, because as I continued to evolve as a person and coming into the truth, I knew within me that the healthcare system was corrupt. I knew the healthcare system wasn't really healing us. That's just my opinion. You believe whatever you want to believe. But I know, because I had an aunt that had cancer and she died. But I was learning about foods and being vegan and about environment, and I was trying to help her, but it was nothing I could really do for her, because if I wasn't living it, she wasn't gonna listen to me. And so I'm in the healthcare industry promoting oncology and chemo and drugs, but within me, I knew if I ever got sick, I already knew what I had to do. I had to stop whatever it is I was doing, heal myself by the foods, my mind, the environment. I innately knew that, but I didn't know that, okay? I innately knew that, but I didn't know that. But I was working a job that went against my own truth. And I did that for years. And then eventually I ended up getting sick, and then that's why I ended up leaving. I quit my job and everything and never looked back, because I found my purpose. Now, I was not aware that was my purpose. I didn't know leaving and going to the tropics and doing everything that I did was my purpose. But as I continued to learn myself and study myself, that's when I knew I had found my purpose. And that goes into the fourth tip. Study astrology. Study yourself. Okay, that is the only reason why I am still standing, y'all. And a lot of you know my story. A lot of you know where I came from. A lot of you know I was a part of a group. And when I left that group, they were not nice. And then people that associated me with that group, it really messed my reputation up. But I did not let it stop me. And I'm getting emotional because I love my life. I love myself so much. I wasn't going to give up. And it did not matter what people said about me, because I knew myself. I understood myself. You want to know why? Because I studied my birth chart. I studied my birth chart. I saw all my demons. I knew all my debilitations. I knew all my obstacles. And I alchemized those into my opportunities and for my gifts. That's exactly what I did. And me and my husband, when we left that group, we came to Hawaii and we found ourselves homeless, because the people we were staying with, they kicked us out. And we were homeless with a baby. The newborn was only 2 months. And they kicked us out on the streets. They didn't give a damn. They're like, you and your baby can leave. Okay. That's what these people said to us. And we was out here on these streets. We were homeless for 6 months. Okay. Now, when I say homeless, we didn't have a place to live. We were bouncing from Airbnb to Airbnb. And sometimes we didn't have the money, or there was no vacancy, and we had to sleep in a tent outside on the beach with the other homeless people. But because I knew my purpose, I knew who I was, I did not give up. I did not allow it to scare me. And a lot of people were putting me on the internet, talking about I was an unfit mother, talking about my husband, he's a deadbeat dad, he need to get a job, I need to go back to my mama. And I was like, I don't care what you say. Your words do not define who I am and where I'm going. And I kept on pushing. I was scared. Okay, I was scared being out on the streets. And I will be even on camera crying to you guys, because I did not know what I was going to do. But because I studied my birth chart, I knew my life path. I knew what I had to overcome. See, my Pluto was in the second house. So you got to know what your Pluto is in, because that's where you're going to have to sacrifice yourself. Well, I had to sacrifice myself with my self-worth and my money. So Pluto took all of that. Because I used to have money. I had a good job. I had no debt or anything. And then I saw myself on the streets homeless. And then asking people to help us. That was very a humbling experience. And the 3 placements that you want to study yourself to know what your purpose is your midheaven. Now, your midheaven is your career placement, okay? But it's also your purpose. And then you want to know your north node. That is your destiny. And then you want to know your ascendant. That is how you do things. That is what you are here to become, okay? So you want to know those 3 placements. But the most important thing that I want you to remember, that you are God. That is your ultimate purpose. And anyone that tells you that you're not, do not listen to them, because that is what you are here to remember. You are everything. There is nothing that starts with you and ends without you. This is your life. Avanella said, how do you know? Without you observing anything, Avanella, nothing exists. Everything that happens to you is that you created it. Everything that you experience, it comes from you. No one's not doing anything to you that you have not done to yourself or you allowed. The thoughts that you think is the life that you create. There's no outside source. But people can believe whatever they want to believe. But as your teacher, as your guide, I'm here to remind you who you are. There's nothing greater than you. That is your purpose, to know that. This is exactly what I did. This is what I already knew. You know everything. Now, you can get a reading or go therapy, get coaching, but what people are going to do, they're going to just remind you what you already know. You already know what to do. You already know who you are. But do not doubt that voice within. That voice within is your source. It is your compass. It's your intuition, whatever you want to call it. Or if you want to believe that there's that you are separate from God, it is the Most High. Whatever you choose to believe in, I'm not here to knock down your truth. That's your truth. But the way that I live my life is a testimony to what I preach and what I teach. I'm not going to give you any advice that I didn't do myself and did not create me results that I wanted. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and be on my podium and be like, what you should be doing, and I ain't doing it. You have to start trusting yourself, because without the trust within yourself, that's your blockage. You're not going to listen to the signals. You're not going to get the light codes because you don't trust yourself. You don't believe in your life. You don't believe in your purpose. And stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Because just because my life turned out the way that it turned out for me doesn't mean it's going to turn out that for you. So that's why you got to study yourself. That's why you have to know yourself. And you have to go back into your childhood and see what happened. Because a lot of you want to use your childhood trauma as an excuse. Well, the reason why I'm this way is because my mama did this and my daddy did that. Who cares? What was the lesson? What did you learn through your childhood? Because that is what you are here to evolve in, to be of service to. We all want to be of service. At the end of the day, you just want to make a difference. You just want to know that your life meant something. That you just wasn't here to sit here and die. That in between, it was quite interesting and you helped someone. And the reason why you would get a reading from me or coaching from me is because I'm just going to give you another perspective about what you think you are. I'm just going to give you direction. Be like, okay, go there. Like, that's where you go. But not from what I think, just by what your birth chart says. Or anybody else you choose to learn under maybe human design or psychology or whatever. They're here to just give you direction. Like, that's the way you go. And usually when you talk to these people, either a human design or astrologer, that you be like, oh yeah, you right. That. Like, we ain't telling you nothing that you don't already know. Never quit evolving. Never quit learning. Never quit failing. And I promise you, you're going to know what your purpose is. I'm gonna give it away. Your purpose is for you to remember who you are.